Oh my God. It's gotta be intentional. This keyboard. Uh-oh. This video is age restricted by you, so it's ineligible for monetization. It's not for kids. It's crazy. Okay, whatever. Skippity-doo-doo-doo-doo. Sound check. Welcome to Can Angels Fly, Tarot, and more. My name is Nancy, and I'm here to go over or back over the year of 2021 because the year is drawn to an end. We are currently in the middle of November, only about 6 to 8 weeks or something like that left in the year of 2021. So what I would like to do in this video is go over some of the predictions I've made and to confirm that they actually happened. And the reason I want to do that is because you all know if life grants us the privilege, we will be soon to enter the year of 2022. And so I think it would be smart for us to have the opportunity to be aware or become conscious of out of all the information, the avalanche of information that we're all receiving due to public social media, it's hard to tell what's real and what is not real. And so I want to show you that I am truly moving to be a professional. And why do I think that's important? Because humanity is currently at a crossroads, and it appears to me, from my perspective, that humanity is about to go down the wrong path. And we're going to go down the wrong path for different reasons. One reason, these are just some examples, are that people or humanity is going to perish for a lack of knowledge. That's 100% true. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that is a verse in the Bible, a statement that appears in one of the verses in the Christian Bible, that God's people would die for a lack of knowledge. So that's one reason. Another thing is that we have been socially, when I say we, I'm talking about humanity, have been socially engineered to be self-destructive. And I mean it in a way, like, again, being overwhelmed with an avalanche of information coming from everywhere on all these different social media platforms. People no longer have to have any degrees or life experience or anything to share what they want to share. You have no way of knowing if what people are sharing is accurate or not. So a lot of people are being misled, especially the older generation with the traditional media, and then the younger generation with just like people with I don't know, that are kind of like con artists, or they just don't have accurate information. So people are being misled, and it's going to lead humanity to do what? Go down a wrong path in 2022. And so I just want to share with those that watch my channel or visit my channel some evidence of my quality of work that I offer over here. I'm hoping, I don't know what will happen as far as, the messages I'll get from here on out. But I'm hoping that the messages that I get will end up helping us, humanity, make some better choices. I hope so. So, what am I going to do for this? I'm going to start kind of just laid back, chilling, taking my time, and I'm going to kind of review some of my work. I guess, I don't know how this is going to go. Anyway, one of the predictions that I made last year, I guess I can, let me enact the fair use law. I'm enacting the fair use law because I may be showing some images or something like that off from offline of people and of information. And it's all for the purpose of criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, etc., etc. Okay. One of the first things I predicted in 2020 was that I don't even want to keep these images up long, so I'm just going to show them and then I'm going to talk about them. Okay, what you're seeing to the right of me are I don't know, reports or headlines that are online. The first one, these are two separate headlines from online. As you can see, the top one is from the New York Times, and it reported back in January of 2021 that much of Pakistan lost power in a massive blackout. During that exact same time period, it's also reported that the power went out at the Vatican. Now, in some of my previous videos in 2020, I predicted that due to Bill Gates having scheduled a show of his compact traveling wave nuclear reactor, and Bill Gates or Donald Trump allotting so many extra, I guess, billions or trillions of dollars to the energy department so that Bill Gates could put this show on to show investors, potential investors, how successful and practical his traveling wave nuclear reactor would be, and how it would just really innovate the future, required for there to be a massive power outage. And so back in, I don't even know, in 2020, when I did it, I'm going to say maybe, because that went on before election. So I want to say it may have been in August or September of 2020, somewhere around there. I did a video, and my videos contain so much information, it's really getting hard for me to locate it and directly point it out. But anyway, I talked about it in many videos, I'll say at least after August 2020. It kept reappearing, the same information I would keep sharing over and over again once I found it. And I reported then, I said, so y'all look out so you can confirm if I'm accurate in my work, which is using decoding the stars and making predictions and different things like that. I said, y'all look out for a massive power outage. I said, I'm not exactly sure when it will happen. I said, but based on the budget and the allotment that was made to the energy department through the Trump administration, it suggests that the year will open up with a massive power outage, most likely in a foreign country. And that's what happened. It happened what? As I was sharing here, is this the one? In what? Pakistan and the Vatican. It happened. And it was for the purpose of what? Putting on a show to show the power of Bill Gates' traveling wave nuclear reactors, so that people would, he could get investors on board. Okay, I'm going somewhere with this. If you just ride the wave with me. The next thing that I reported, I'm only going to keep it up here quickly because it's an image of someone else, and that is what? Lil Nas X. And over the course of the year, I guess I can go over here. I just don't want to go back and forth between boards. But I think I need to. So, how do I get to? Okay. Give me a minute. I'm pulling up my YouTube page so I can kind of maybe recall some of the videos that I made and when I made them. Because what we're doing, confirming or verifying how accurate my predictions are. And we're doing so for a reason. And the reason is so that we know if we should listen to Nancy at all. Take it what Nancy says into consideration as we move into the year of 2022 and beyond. For the purpose of what? Making good decisions. So, let's see. Let's see if I can figure this out. Let's see. Yeah, here it goes. Next thing, gosh dang it, why is it not moving? Really? Okay. Slide that over. Nope, that didn't help. Not at all. Okay, I gotta span the whole board, I guess. Really? You won't show it now, huh? Oh, okay, there it is. There it is. Okay. So in March of this year of 2021, I began to talk about charismatic leaders and entertainment and things like that. Why? Because the astrological energy was forewarning us to keep our eyes out. Our eyes open for some charismatic leaders in entertainment that would influence the minds of the viewers. And who comes out? Oh, crap. Lil Nas X. Okay, just looking back, I went in detail. I made at least 2 videos about the charismatic leaders and the power of entertainment. Then it came out when Lil Nas X made his debut with lap dancing the devil and everything. The astrology foretold of it. And it foretells, astrology foretells of such things because it's what? A plan. It is a plan by those that we don't know exist. That's another thing. That is one of the reasons why humanity's at this crossroad and is scheduled actually to go down the wrong path. It's because we don't believe that there are entities or beings that exist in this physical realm with us that do not have our best interests at heart. Astrology reveals these entities or beings and their the actions that they're taking to mislead humanity. So, okay, maybe we can start believing some of these things, because how can I be so accurate? And there are so many other predictions I made that I won't go over. I'll be here all day. Okay, let's see if this is the next one. I should have numbered them. Okay, I just did a little nice. The next prediction I made, going back to the very first one, I was trying to see. Let's see. And I do plan to make a few predictions for 2020 based on what we already know. Right now, I'm trying to see when I really started talking about Bill Gates and him developing that traveling wave nuclear reactor. I was trying to see. Let me see. It has something to do with Biden and Kamala Harris and yeah. So when was this? Oh heck, I gotta expand the board, y'all. Let's see, I did one in December 2020. I did December, November. I'm trying to go through my videos to see when I first started talking about the traveling wave nuclear reactor, but I'm not sure. Oh, that went all the way back to March. No, I know it had to be like September, October, or something like that when I started talking about the traveling wave nuclear reactor. Anyway, I've made that prediction. Now, what is this? Here is evidence. I just got this, I think it was yesterday, just like blew my mind. Now, remember, I predicted that there had to be a power outage. The very first slide I showed you was about the power outages that took place in Pakistan and in the Vatican, because they had to put the show on to get the investors to see if they could move forward and actually build these nuclear reactors. And it's a go. It's a go. They got the investors, and guess what? Here it is. Bill Gates, Terrell Power. If you find my videos, if you follow me, you may know where to look for. When I talked about Bill Gates, I mentioned Terrell Power and how they'll be rebuilding the first advanced nuclear reactor in a coal town in Wyoming. Talked all about that. Here it is. This is another article that appeared. That's why I enacted the fair use law for the purposes of learning, reporting, and educating, and doing all that, and commenting. It's right here. It was on, I think, what's that? CBS. What, I can't see it. Is CBS something. Oh, let me see if I can pull up. My magnifying glass. Need the magnifying glass. Hopefully you can see the magnifying glass. As you can see, oh, it's right there, big. CNBC. And it 1 hour ago, yesterday, I think it was yesterday that I saw this. I was like, oh, there it goes. And it says, Bill Gates, Terra Power will build its first advanced nuclear reactor in the coal town of Wyoming. This is something that I predicted by Decoding the Stars. And I did that back in like mid 2020. And I was telling everybody about it. And if you follow me, you may very well remember me saying my line of thought began with the clue that affirmative action had been banned in 2020. That was the first clue, the first breadcrumb, and it took me there. Okay, we're just seeing how accurate I am. These are the predictions that I predicted prior to 2021 that have come true. Names, places, locations, the companies, everything. Predicted it all. Why? Because I'm actually decoding the stars. I have incepted the insider correspondence. Insider trading, insider correspondence has been taking place, y'all. Right up under our noses. Oh, not that one. Where I'm supposed to be at, y'all. Right here. Let's see. What else? The next thing is still going on about this compact traveling wave nuclear reactor created by Bill Gates, and him seeking funding because Bill Gates funded the development of this compact traveling wave nuclear reactor. Then he goes out to put on a show to basically get investors. Boom. And what's his name? Donald Trump administration granted so much money to the Department of Defense. I reported on all of it. So that what Bill Gates can put on the show. Okay? So now here is another article, as you can see here, just yesterday, I got it yesterday, so it was the day before. I think today, Friday, November 19th, so this probably was the 17th or something like that. And you can see it's U.S. Today. It's from U.S. Today. And it says a $4 billion nuclear power plant backed by who? Who did I report? Developed it, made it, you know, initially funded the prototype, Bill Gates. And I was speculating that I thought that Donald Trump was going to try to get on board, but who never thought about it. What does this article say? And Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett. So I'm going to try to go in, find Warren Buffett birth chart, and look at it. Never thought about Warren Buffett. But I should have went to Forbes. That's what I should have did and looked at all the billionaires. When I get off here tonight, that's what I'm going to do. I've done it before, but now I got some ink in my printer, so I'm going to print out all the billionaires so I can have them. Because only, what they say, follow the money. Now I got the stars and the most wealthiest people in the world. I think I got all that I need now. Anyway, it says a $4 billion nuclear power plant backed by Bill Gates and Warren Buffett is set for construction in Wyoming. Okay. Just more evidence of predictions that I've made manifesting. Okay, what else have I predicted? Kamala Harris. If you follow me, I talked about Kamala Harris multiple times. I talked about Kamala Harris in relationship to the, prior to the election, when it was President-elect Biden and Kamala Harris. I talked about how Kamala Harris was somewhat like a Manchurian candidate. She has been reared from childhood to sit at the head seat at the what do you call it, the become head of state. I talked about it. I talked about it not only in the video prior to the election. I predicted who would become the president, and I did put a timestamp under that video. It's called something President-elect. I might have wrote it here. It's called the video. It's called Another Aquarius Rant, President-elect Biden and Kamala Harris. I do believe that's the video in which I made a prediction about who was going to be our next president. I told why. And I also began to report how Kamala Harris would soon be, the first black female president. Another time I talked about Kamala Harris taking the seat of head of state was when I did her birth chart interpretation. And that's where I discovered and shared that she was actually reared to take that position. She's like a Manchurian candidate. She's being put in that place. I did make this prediction. I said I don't really know exactly how long it's going to be before she's put in the place of head of state. But I did make an additional prediction on top of stating that she would be the head of state, to say that based on biblical information that it may be about 2.5 years that she would be become the head of state permanently, for the duration of her presidency. But here we still see that my prediction was absolutely correct. I think most people kind of figured that one out though, because Biden a little old, but here you go. Maybe you want to watch that video when I interpret Kamala Harris' birth chart, so we can, you can understand who she really is on a soul level. Okay, I think that was it. That's it. Okay, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. Now I'm gonna put that up, man. I'll put that up there. I want to be locked in. Let's see. Otherwise, over to the side. Okay, excuse me. I'll let that be, because I'm going somewhere with it in just a moment. A few months ago, hey Yanni, how are you? Thank you for your love offering. I really appreciate it. It's nice to be appreciated sometimes. I really appreciate you. A few months ago, I predicted that there would be a major shift in the market, and it was. shortly after I reported it, it was. And it's been drops in Bitcoin. Uh, and I want to talk about the drops in Bitcoin. And I have to give a disclaimer that I'm not a professional. I don't hold any degrees or accolades or anything like that from our system. I don't have any certifications or anything. This is just me talking as another human being. I'm one person out of all of humanity. And so I'm sharing. Where should I start? As I stated, what is that? Oh, I guess somebody's dog got away from the groomer. I picked their dog up from the groomer. I apologize. So, I've mentioned in previous um, live streams that over 2021, I really realized that astrology is a correspondence between, the powers. Not only a correspondence between the powers that exist in our physical realm, it is also correspondence between the powers in our physical realm that are manifested in physical vessel with the extraterrestrial beings or the supreme or whatever. And that still stands 100%. Astrology is a correspondence. I feel like astrologers have intercepted the correspondence that's taking place. I believe that if a person is not advanced in astrology, that they don't understand the magnitude of the messages encoded in the system, in that, using that system, which is, astrology. And I bring that up because what I realized the other day when I was, just contemplating everything that I have, been exposed to while, performing or practicing the art or this branch of knowledge, which is astrology, is that I have intercepted this correspondence. And I realized there's a lot of insider information that exists in astrology too. Remember, it's a correspondence between the powers. And in our mundane world, our everyday life, we have been told that insider information, offer insider information or whatever it's called, is illegal. We had Martha Stewart go to jail, all kind of stuff, But insider information is been happening. It's been ongoing for centuries and centuries. But it was happening right up under our noses, the correspondence that was taking place. So, why am I talking about insider information? Y'all know I just be all over the place. I don't have no script to nothing. So I'm just trying to learn to talk and share. Let's see how it goes over 2022. It's because I want to, for me, when I'm dealing with astrology, I don't know what I'm going to find. But when I do intercept a message that has to do with, I could say, the economy, I want to come and share it with you. And the reason I want to share it with you is because I think it would be beneficial to humanity for the general populace to be able to intercept, I guess, again, that's the word now, intercept for a while, these powers, what do you call it, investments. Their investments. How can we intercept them? I don't know. Maybe we can pool our money and invest in some of these projects they have going on that we don't know about. See, the truth is, they are writing laws. We're not invited to any of the meetings that they have to write laws. They're writing laws under our nose. And I'm not talking about laws to be unjust or unjust to just the people. Like that case that's trending right now, whatever it's called. It's all injustice. Or it's all injustice. These are the laws that we, you know, deal with, concern ourselves with, but we don't do nothing about it. But I'm talking about, y'all don't understand when I say over 2021, when I was the Code and the Stars, I saw the laws, the messages I received from Decoding the Stars led me to find these different laws. There were laws that I found over the course of this year that had to do with the expansion of privatizing all of the industries across the board. We already know they've been moving to do so. And humanity is sitting back, I guess, and not doing nothing, I guess, because we don't know what to do. But this is everything is so serious. It really is serious. We're at a critical juncture, and I've shared in other videos that I'm finally to this point where I can confidently say that I know that we're not dealing with humans. We can't be. They're another species or being that have manifested in this physical clay vessel, but they are not humans in essence. They're not, period. Because they do not care about the welfare of humanity. You know? They don't care what we need to eat or what we need to breathe to survive or to sustain our life. They don't care. Everything they're about doing is destroying humanity slowly, and we can't see it. I got to go back to when I was talking about how, humanity is at this crossroads. We about to go down the wrong road. And the reason why we're going to go down the wrong road is because we are so unaware and we are dismissing the truth. Not only are we dismissing the truth, we are accepting lies and fabrications. And the ultimate end to all of that, if we keep doing it, is that it is going to annihilate, or what's the word? Something goes extinct in this realm. We're going to go extinct because we're just foolish. We will die. We will perish. We're going extinct for lack of knowledge. Don't nobody believe that. Why? Because we're not talking about a time period that is short. It's not here and right now. We can't see it. We don't think in long haul. One of the things that humans would be, let me see, what would be beneficial to humanity? To be able to understand, to comprehend that humanity is one species and these other beings are a whole different species. They are totally different. But their technology does allow them to cloak themselves. These are things we have not been taught. Let me finish what I'm saying. They can cloak themselves. Their technology allows them to cloak themselves. I know I'm all over the place. Aquarius rant. They cloak themselves. But a human doesn't believe that even exists, that type of technology even exists. A few years ago, I was saying how, and when I was reading the astrology and code, I know decoding it, I'm everywhere, y'all. Just ride away with me, if you will. That there was a dialogue taking place in which, at that time, I didn't know it was just the powers talking to each other, corresponding back and forth. Like said, humanity are idiots. They are fools. They're idiots. Their intellect, because I talked about the IQ and everything, is sub-level. Dumb. Not only are they dumb, we have the powers that socially engineered humanity to stay in that state with a arrested state of development. And it just talked about how we were morons and things like that. I guess people thought I was playing. I kept saying, hey, this is what I'm reading, once I encode the stars. But it makes sense now because comparing humanity to this species, whatever it is, I'm not going to say that I know what it is. I have come pass some clues that suggest that it is a possible reptilian race. I don't want to lose y'all. You know, I made a video about that. I'm trying to stay focused, y'all. So I'm not gonna go over and start talking about that. Trying to talk about that video in which I dove in and started talking about reptilians. I've never been into aliens and things like that, but this is where I am now. You know, there's a difference. We have to compare ourselves to them. This species that I'm talking about that is manipulating our experience in this physical realm, their intellect is fairly superior to ours. It's like we can give them a run for their money if we were conscious that they exist. If we were conscious of their technology, we could give them a run for our money. But humanity has been, as people say, it's been trending, dumbed down. And we have been socially engineered to stay foolish. I stay stupid, foolish, like to be morons. I've heard, maybe you have heard, that science has discovered that humans only use a fraction of their brain power. And I contend that the reason why science has discovered that humans only use a fraction of our brain power is because what? We don't know how long social engineering or we'll say physical engineering or physical manipulation has been taking place. Everything from the foods we eat, you know, to the air we breathe, all of these contaminants or methods of manipulating our state have caused us to become like mentally disabled. And this other species that I'm talking about that is superior to us knows it. They also did it. And they continue to do it. And we can't see it because we're so far removed from what, I'll just say it like this, what once was. So far removed that we can't see it. That it's like not possible. It's not, we can't even fathom it. So I'm gonna stop because I'm all over the place. Aquarius rant. I'm gonna read the chat in a minute. I just kind of want to try to give a message, you know. So I'm not ignoring you, Yanni, or anyone else. Just kind of want to share because I do want to drop some gems in this video, and the gems that I want to drop are predictions for from this moment forward, but you know, with a primary focus on the year of 2022. And so far, what have I done? I've talked about or shared evidence of or proof that the predictions that I made in 2020 came true. In 2019, I want to go back. I made a prediction about how humanity, the world, was about to go into an experience that was equal or even end up being greater than the Great Depression of the 1920s. If you follow me, you know I did. I foretold of it. Did I know it's going to be a pandemic? No, I didn't know that was going to be the onset. I didn't know that. But I knew whatever took place was going to lead us, and we're still headed there, into a time period in which there's that's like or equal to the Great Depression and everything that happened there. And I made several videos in 2019 that foretold of that. I foretold of it. So, confirmation. So, now where I want to go. I need to go back and talk about something else that I talked about on my channel during my video. And actually not one video. Once I start talking about something, I come back with it again and again. And I try to add it, keep it present. To try to make things make sense. Anywho, it will take you to follow me. It was this time period. I want to say it was 2021. I'm going to say early 2021, maybe. I don't know. I would have to go look. And I really do want to find these videos. I just talk so much, I know. But I was just fixated on Henry Ford. I told y'all, I said, hey, me and my daughter and my grandkids, we went to Henry Ford Museum here in Michigan, in Dearborn, Michigan. I said, and I was just smitten with this oil painting painted by this guy, Mr. Bacon, I think it was. And I went on and on and on about it. And I talked about how Henry Ford, what the painting was a commemorative oil painting painted by Mr. Bacon to commemorate Henry Ford, honoring Thomas Edison for his innovation relative to electricity. And it was something called Something Lights Jubilee. And I went on and on about this oil paint. And I told y'all, I said, hey, I've been researching this. And I said, I got revelation. And the revelation was that the 200 and whatever it was, I went on and on about it, 200 and something guests that sat in that banquet hall, all were innovators. They all were affluent during that time period, which was the early 1900s. I said, now, the storyline that goes with that painting is that they gathered together to honor Thomas Edison. But I found it quite interesting because I took a picture of that painting. Now, I talked about it over and over again. A huge painting. I took pictures of it by section because it was a, how to say, it was a collection or a collage, I guess, of individual portraits of each guest. I don't even know if I said that right. Each guest, the painter took years to paint the painting. He just laid the template and everything when he was doing original painting. I told y'all, just sharing, trying to trigger your memory, that Henry Ford didn't want a photographer to take a picture because back then when they took a picture with the cameras, you know, I guess it's called still cameras, it was smoke. It would be a bunch of smoke and, you know, chemical smell. So he hired Mr. Bacon, I think it was, to paint. And so when Mr. Bacon painted the picture, he actually just like laid the, what do you call it, the setup of the hall and the guests and not, you know, the seating, and he actually painted a portrait of every single person sitting there, even like a miniature portrait. So it was a masterpiece. He was a master. He was also a guest. Why? Because he was a master artist. You know. Anywho, I told you I was so fascinated with it, so I would take the different sections of the picture that I took, and I would research the guest that was on the list. I went through so many of them. And I say, y'all, I got this revelation. I say, these people came together because they were the creme de la creme of that time. They were the movers and shakers. They were the powers. I said, and they came together just a day or so before the crash. What they call it, the crash that led to the Great Depression. I said they came together, and how can I say this? It's like I feel like they had this final meeting. I believe the crash, what they call it, the crash of the market of the 1920s, 20s, 30s, that led to the Great Depression was a plan. And I've gone over it and over it again in different videos, and I talked about how these people came together, and that final meeting, the one I just been talking about and ranting about, was like the confirmation that they were going to crash the market. I talked about the game Monopoly, and its development was based on the blueprint that was used to crash the market during that time period leading to the Great Depression. And so why am I going over and over that again and trying to say it? It's because the other day I was reading astrology for November. I don't have a lot more to report than I've already reported about our wounded id, you know, based on Sigmund Freud studies and things like that, and how the powers are basically using our wounded id to manipulate us. You know, I ain't got much more than talking about, you know, how we already know we're moving from the old paradigm to the new paradigm, and the advancements in technology and 5G. I done talked about all that. But when it comes to November, the one thing I saw that was unique or different was that it was a spirit that was present. The powers have summoned a spirit. And that spirit is called like muse. M-U-S-E. A muse. You can Google it and look up the definition of it and everything. A muse. How can I say that? It's a typical general people, everyday people, lay people. We use the muse, or will use the muse, one way. Very superficial. But the powers are going to use that spirit of the muse being present a whole another way. Going back to that painting I just been rambling all about. The muse was there with them then. They have summoned that same spirit back here 92 years later. 92 years after the onset of the Great Depression. 92 years later, that spirit of the muse is back. I don't even know if I'm making this make sense. I am trying to go somewhere with this. I do got a few predictions I want to make, but I guess got to try to get this stuff out. And so what am I saying? I'm saying just like back in October, I think it was of 1929, when all of those people, the creme de la creme, came together to honor, they say, Thomas Edison. The same thing, it appears to me, the same thing is happening now, 92 years later. I'm wondering now. This is scary. And I'm really putting myself out here on this one because I don't have any other confirmation. The other stuff I shared with y'all, I want y'all to know, I had confirmation. I showed y'all all the confirmation I can muster up and show you. That's why my videos be so long. And mind you, I just be showing y'all a portion. So I knew that stuff was going to happen. Everything from Bill Gates and all. I knew all that was going to happen. I had too much evidence. This, I don't have a lot of evidence. It was just that the spirit of the muse came up. Just the other day when I was looking at November again, the muse. I was like, it almost seems like on Thanksgiving, which is what, the 25th of this, November 25th of 2021, give or take a few days or so, that it's possible that our powers today are having one of those meetings, one of those banquets, just like Henry Ford did on October of 1929, just a day or so before the market crashed. I wonder. That's it. I can't even see our world going through it. I like that now, but maybe. So I'm just saying, take this with a grain of salt. I wonder, that spirit, the muse that I seen in my astrological, interpretation, have the powers today scheduled a banquet in which all the creme de la creme, the greatest minds, the innovators are coming together, the billionaires, and as a confirmation that they're going to go ahead and move forward and crash the market in here in 2021, at the close of 2021, the open of 2022. I don't know. Take that with a grain of salt, because all I'm looking at is that spirit of the muse is returned. Okay, I don't even know if that made sense, because I'm talking about a spiritual entity being summoned by the powers in 1929 and is now summoned again. Typical people, stereotypical people, general people like myself and maybe you, gonna use that muse one way, where the powers are gonna use it a whole nother way. Let me talk about what's gonna occur in my household on Thanksgiving. And I'm just gonna share it because when I was getting information, I try to make it make sense. So, before I even knew about this, because I just got the muse information yesterday, me and my family set up about a week or so ago. I was like, we're going to do a potluck for Thanksgiving. If you follow me, you know I got 5 kids. They are all adults now. But there was once a time that I was the sole provider, cook, everything. Times have changed. So the muse descends. The muse has been summoned by the powers, right? So now it's like, oh, we're going to have our Thanksgiving is going to be potluck. And so we, the family and the friends, everything's flowing well. We're sending messages to each other. This is the muse. You know, it's I don't know how to. It's like this harmonic flow of working together to accomplish a common purpose or goal with no problems. The muse. We're all excited about it. Nobody's in disagreement. Nobody's arguing or doing anything or saying they won't do it or da-da-da-da-da. None of that. It's synchronized. The muse in a general life. The powers are using that a different way. The powers are, how can I say, pooling their intellect and their resources for a grand goal. And what is that grand goal? What is that grand goal? They are mused to come together, to pool their resources, intellect, to work together harmoniously to achieve a common goal. They're the ones that summon the muse. I don't know if I made that make sense. What am I talking about? Let me try to, because I don't want this to be really long, but I got some message. Hopefully I'm understood. The muse. Understand the muse. So, what have I talked about? I talked about my previous predictions, how they're absolutely correct. I just shared with y'all about the muse is present. So I'm telling you what the muse is, how general people are going to use it, and how the powers are going to use it. And we know the powers are not human based on what I've shared. And they do not have humanity's best interests at heart. So they're going to use their energy for their agenda that does not take humanity into consideration. Booyah. Possibility, I don't know. Take this with a grain of sand. I'm wondering, are they going to try to topple the market, from here into, this end of the year? Just saying. Comparing it to the 1920s. I'm going to let it go. Oh, I can't let it go. Because I kept trying to find a banquet. Where do millionaires hang out? See, that something like Jubilee back on October 1920, that's history. Commemorated. They showing off what was in the past. But during that time period, who knew? So here we are 92 years later. Who knows where the powers are hanging out at Thanksgiving or around it? Where are they having their investors meetings at? Oh, God damn. I didn't even tell them I was going live, so they don't know to keep the dog shut. Where are they having their meetings at? The creme de la creme. The geniuses. The innovators. It seems, again, they're having a meeting, but who knows where. So anyway, I've been trying to find that out. And I can't get my mind to find that. I'm trying, though. So I'm still trying. And I bring that up for a reason. For the dog bark, it was a reason. The plans. Let's talk about what is going to happen. I got to go back and talk about another video I made, prediction I made, and it has not fully been realized yet, but I'm going to let you know if you got any money to invest in. Remember, I am not a professional. I'm just sharing. I guess I'm saying if I had the money, this is what I would do. Kayon West or whatever, I think in 2020, I'm not sure. I'll have to go through my videos. That would make this much longer. But I did a video. It's called Decoding the Lyrics to Kayon West, Jesus is King, or something like that. Didn't get many views on it, but I suggest if you have time to go watch it. Because what Kayon West was saying is saying, hey, number one, remember he was constantly over, what's his name, is Donald Trump's shoulder. Anyway, I shared that album was a speech. It told the mundane people how foolish we are, basically to our face if we really listen to it. And how foolish we were to follow religion, just traditional religion. But he also shared an area to invest in. And he talked about like housing or like low income housing, how the powers, I'm saying, I don't know how to break all this stuff up. One of the A lucrative place to invest one's money would be in low, I guess, income housing. And I don't know what kinds of, see, I don't know in the air, what do you call it, the industry of housing. I don't know how it's categorized, but I just remember it saying that they're going to obtain my research. Once I started researching, following all the breadcrumbs, they're going to take some land that was like traditionally swamp land. So it wasn't good solid land. They're going to take that land and they're going to develop some housing on it for the low income people. And it was, if I say some things, I already know YouTube. Man, oh man, I ain't gonna say it. So anyway, they're actually doing this for a particular demographic of people. And now I'm not going to say it ain't per se my demographic of people, but I'm sure we're probably next on that list. So what am I saying? Keep your eyes on the housing market in areas that, what they call it, as far as weather, what they call it? Oh gosh, don't try to think of words, Nancy. Say whatever. Are marsh-like lands. Maybe the marshlands have dried over time, or maybe they've been topped. Topsoil been put on them so that the marsh doesn't appear that it's there. Something like that. That kinds of land. They're gonna like put low income housing. They're gonna invest low and reap big. He told us that. That hasn't come yet. It hasn't come yet. But that's still out here. That's still out here. The next thing is the Bitcoin thing. Okay, how do I say this? The Bitcoin. Okay, that's one. Kayan West, or whatever his name is. The next is the Bitcoin thing. And again, I talked about the market in astrology a couple of months ago. It says something about the market kind of crashing down. It's beneficial to the wealthy. Oh yeah, so much. It's benefit the crash or the destabilization that would happen to the market would be beneficial, of course, to the wealthy, but not to everybody else, like that. And that did occur, but it wasn't so extreme that I came on here to report it. I just saw recently that there's been some shifts with Bitcoin. Again, the astrologer is saying it's all in the favor of the powers of the big money, but not the people, is what it's saying. So remember, I'm sharing if I had money, what investments I would try to make. Of course, I would have to do extensive research to get a full understanding of so Bitcoin. Now, I believe, but I'm not a professional at all. I just believe that the things that we have the opportunity to invest in are offered at the ones because we know about it, so it's offered to us, the general populace. We can get on board. It's in a range that we can afford, and when I don't want to use the word commodity because commodity is for something else. These things that we invest in, when they drop, we start losing money. I don't know much about it. How to say? Some people get wiped out because they haven't invested enough, or they haven't invested in the right thing, or whatever. How can I say this? It's all staged. I don't know how to say it. So I'm trying to talk about the Bitcoin, but I'm trying not to talk about commodities at the same time, because I done talked about commodities Why did I talk about commodities? I have an interest in commodities, but it's also the astrology is brought up commodities. I need to say this, that when I've interpreted the astrological energies over the last few years, it talks about, again, these different uh, things we can invest in. I got to look up the terminology. When I say things, I'm talking about the Bitcoin, or you can invest in, or cryptocurrency. You can invest in, like, I don't know, Amazon, these companies or corporations. You can invest in Disney. You can invest in different stuff like that. But then there's commodity. These are natural resources. Investing in natural resources, like, different foods. I talk about pork bellies and cotton and things like that. Two separate things. And in astrology, it talks about these two separate brackets that you can invest in. One bracket is for the poor, or I'll say that not just the poor, but the general people. The other bracket is for the wealthy. They move in commodities. I'm talking about the powers. They move with the commodities. Talking about the bracket that the general populace really invest in, example, cryptocurrency and things like that. How can I say? Man, oh man. It's so many complications because there's so many levels, y'all. We got to be ready in 2022. We have to be. No, we don't have to be. Our species is going to go extinct. On some real stuff. That's some deep stuff. Anyway, the cryptocurrency. What can I say? I can say this. Cryptocurrency possibly is going to drop and is dropping because there are ventures that are about to take place relative to cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. They are constantly partnering or growing and expanding. I'm going to just say this stuff. I'm going to just put it out here. I don't know. I don't think they let many people watch my channel that even have the resources to invest. I really don't. And those that do ain't going to say nothing. Okay. So cryptocurrency is scheduled to partner with places like Western Union. What's the other one called? One is called Western Union and something else. Now, you got to know who uses places like Western Union. Broke folk. People without bank accounts. Different like that. If you staying with me. Who uses Western Union? I can't think of the other place. It's scheduled for them to partner. So my whole point is that cryptocurrency is about to expand. So the price may drop down now. They may be dropping to get rid of some riffraff. Investors, people pulling their money out when they're about to expand. You know what I'm saying? They drop it, so you lose hope. You let it go, and then they make their big move, bump up the price real quick. You get what I'm saying? I'm not an expert. This is what I think I'm seeing. And so when that happens, hopefully y'all understand what I'm saying. This expansion, who uses like Western Union, MoneyGram or something like that? Mostly people that don't have bank accounts. I won't say poor people use it. So what am I saying? I'm saying the poor, once again, the economy is being built on our backs. The more a person uses a place like Western Union, once they partner, more a person uses Western Union, or what's the other one I just said, MoneyGram or whatever they're going to partner with. As an example, these are just some examples. You're feeding that cryptocurrency and building up that industry. I don't know, lack of better words. I don't even know how to say it. Can I say it? Cryptocurrency, I do believe, is going to boom. Or Bitcoin is going to boom. Not Bitcoin. But Bitcoin might get on. No. Cryptocurrency is going to boom because it's joining forces with like MoneyGrams and different things like that. Bitcoin is another thing because it also seems to me, now Bitcoin been out for a minute. And I think Bitcoin is going to stay around. I think it's going to stay around. I'm not quite sure it's always going to be like the number one leader. It's just like the it was like the next step in the development of cryptocurrency, getting it out here, getting it popular. So I do believe it's going to stay, but I don't think it's going to be the best or the biggest or end up being the number one, is what I'm saying. Cryptocurrency, we know, is going to keep on going. And what I'm saying is, expect there to be some losses in one's investment relative to cryptocurrency from here through 2022. But expect at some point in time in 2022 for there to be a boom or in growth relative to cryptocurrency because of whom they're about to partner with. And it's another way that they can direct the poor's money to facilitate the growth of this new economy. I don't even know if that makes sense, y'all. Y'all gotta let me know. Okay, next thing, talking about what is gonna happen. I talked about Kanye West and the housing market and how that soon will be a growing area. And we're talking about low income housing, sub-level housing. Then it's the cryptocurrency. I ain't no professional. I don't know nothing. I ain't got no accounts, no degrees, no accolades, no nothing. Just a person talking and talking about what I'm seeing based on my studies in astrology. So the next thing is, because I just keep going over and over and over again, is what else? Oh, I want to talk about R. Kelly. I never finished my predictions for, I think it was September, when I talked about R. Kelly and the Milk Crate Challenge. Here's another place to invest in. I have intercepted the insider correspondence taking place between the powers. So, R. Kelly and the Milk Crate Challenge. Let me see if I can remember you. Y'all can go find that video. I did that one not too long ago. But it really pointed out where investments would be. And it had to do, just trying to go off the top of my head, is based in Brazil with a Brazil company. What was the name of that company? Electrobra. I think it was ELEBAR or something like that. It was like Electrobra or something. And what is it about? Oh God, it was so much relative to that I just stopped. I'm gonna try. This is another one I'm gonna be rambling over. Just try to catch it. Try to ride the wave. So, R. Kelly and that Milk Crate Challenge period and all that propaganda for the general population was really about investment and innovation. Let me say innovation and investment. So, the company I just named and spelled for you, you can buy stock on the market. You can buy stock in the market for that particular company that I just spelled and tried to pronounce for you. What is the company over it? Number one, is based in Brazil. I shared when I was doing my predictions back in September and R. Kelly and the Milk Crate Challenge that those fires that were taking place in Brazil were intentional. It was to clear the way for a project, a huge project. And I do have the names of some of the people involved. Anywho, the plan is, and the laws have been changed. I read some of the laws and everything. It just was absolutely overwhelming to see what these powers have been doing right up under our nose. And we're simpletons. We are simpletons and don't understand how sophisticated these powers really are. So laws have been changed on us. I mean, just with the industries and the corporations and the billionaires present in the courtroom. The general populace of Brazil or nowhere else knows anything about this. They even talk about the population in these areas. They talk about, what am I talking about? I'm trying to talk about R. Kelly and Milk Crate Challenge, the innovation and investments that are taking place. The laws have already been written and passed, and everything's already, being enacted, including burning down the Amazon. They had us thinking it was a natural occurrence. No, it was intentional to clear away. So I'm trying to go into it with so much. It's about energy. They want to use the Amazon River for hydroelectricity. They're going to make a hydroelectricity, what do you call it, factory or whatever. Hydroelectricity. I can't remember all of it. I have to look for my notes. Hydroelectricity. Hydroelectricity is in Brazil, and it's going to, actually, it seems like it's going to cross whatever body of water is there, because it's supposed to do South America. Well, our part of our South America. You know what I'm saying? It's branching the continents together too. So branching the continents together, directing the Amazon water supply, directing it to the factory site, as an example. Best way I can say it right now off the top of my head. It has to have piping or plastic. We call them in plumbing the PVC piping, and that's where the all that Milk Crate Challenge and stuff came from. And oh God, I'm not pulling out the notes. I will not. I actually go watch the video where I'm sharing the clues or the breadcrumbs that were that I ciphered from the astrology. And anyway, it's a plan to create a hydroelectric energy or something like that. Hydroelectric energy. I can't remember what else it was. I really can't remember. I can't remember what it was. I just know I remember hydroelectric energy. That was one of them, in diverting the Amazon River as that source. And then it was the pipe. And so what am I talking about? I'm talking about investing where the big dogs invest. I'm talking about intercepting their business deals. I'm talking about pulling our resources and putting the money where it counts. If we can't stop them, then we need to make some money. That's how I feel about it for our descendants. And let me stop. I'm all over the place. Aquarius rant. I know. I just be everywhere. But I've talked about how humanity is one species, and we're dealing with a whole other species that does not have humanity's best interests at heart. They are far more advanced. We could compare ourselves to them. Maybe that's what I can do one day. Just compare humanity to this other species. Maybe that would be a video. But I was going to say that this other species that has this project of developing this hydroelectricity plant or whatever it is, for them to damage the Amazon, that's supposed to be the lungs of the earth, suggests what? That they don't have the same needs as the people that are human. People that are human, the species humans. They don't have it. They are willing to destroy the Amazon for capital gain. And the whole thing is in the paperwork, all the paperwork I could find, they talk about the local natives. They give an account of the population, the people, and basically how the people are just, they looked at the people in that area. I don't want to say that. Dang, I wish I knew how to talk. The epicenter of where they're going to start their work at as, like, okay, what's the word? Like natives, but not people, not advanced or sophisticated people. They just natives. undereducated, never see it coming. You know what I'm saying? That's how they talked about it. Oh, it was something else. I almost remembered. I can't remember, but I almost remember something. Because it was about, I was trying to think about the different, I know it was the piping and something else. Oh, the sugar cane. The sugar cane. I talked about the sugar cane. That was it. The sugar cane. Also in Brazil. They mentioned Brazil and how they're going to harvest the sugar cane. And the sugar cane was used to make the piping. The PVC piping, but it's a different type of piping that they're going to use to funnel the Amazonian River to create the, hydroelectric something plant or whatever. This is all about taking place in Brazil. But it will bridge the continents together. That's how elaborate this is about to be. It's about to bridge the continents together. And so all of that was in astrology. So we're talking about, this is insider information. We want to know how they keep wealth. I've been trying to figure it out. It's a couple of things I can't pass. Trying to understand how they've had this generational wealth. How they manipulating everything. Well, we know one way they manipulating it. They changing the laws to allow them to do what the fudge they want to do. I made it. And none of us know about it. None of us know about it. All of these laws are written up where they're sitting face to face with the judges and writing the laws to perfection to back what they want to do. Even destroy the Amazon River and the Amazon forest and everything. Yeah. And then they tell us some dumb stuff. They tell us dumb stuff to why the earth is falling apart. They're not human. Anyway, that's the area to invest in if we are not going to fight back. And I think about that whole thing about the Amazon being overtaken, ravished. I think about when, I don't know where it was at, I don't know, example, possibly Colorado or something, where they went to take over the Indian territory or something like that and laid the water pipes or something. It made me think we didn't fight. The Indians, wherever that was, I guess they tried to fight. Why aren't we winning? We are talking about a few million people, it's supposed to be 1 or 2% of 8 billion people, 7.8.5 or 8 billion people. Why are they winning? They're winning because we are not smart. We don't believe these things. I'm seeing these things again. I'm decoding this in astrology. We won't even look at the past to see. And it just recently, I did a video in response to, I know I'm all over the place, y'all. I'm just disgusted. I did a video talking about that Astro World Travis Scott travesty, and the youths dying. They haven't given any exact reports on causes of death. They just give you some preliminary stuff. But in my videos, during some of my videos, I talk about the drug epidemic and some of the impact it's had on the youth. And how that generation, that whole Scorpio generation and part of Generation Z, they consciously dead. They don't believe in education. The whole educational system has been changed. So they don't know. And I've even heard when my kids was going through school how they were getting rid of them having to learn to write cursive. Writing in cursive means something. Or writing in all capitals means something. But they no longer have to or want to study any branches of knowledge. None of them. They're not interested in anything. Think they know everything. And I gotta say, I always kind of liked school. I ain't being funny. I didn't know it was as important as it is. It really is. The problem was we were led to school with no purpose. When I say we, I'm talking about anybody that's already been through the school system or going through. We were led to school and to education with no purpose, no sense of purpose. It was just go. Just go to school every day. But we didn't have any purpose in doing so. And when I say purpose, I mean, hey, I can't, now that I've been gone through the school system and things are the way they are in our world, economy falling apart, all kind of vax and variants and everything that's taking place. I don't have security because I don't know how to go build my own house. I didn't have no purpose in school. You know, I didn't have no purpose in school. So I wasn't deeply invested. And it took me a long time to realize why it was law for me to get educated. It was so I could go get a job like my mama did. And she woke up every morning, 5:30, 6 o'clock. Every morning for over 30 years to go to work, to die 2 months after she got her retirement. That's why I was legally forced to go to school, so I could take her position when she died. That was it. It wasn't for me. It wasn't for my children or anything else. Now we got a generation of children that don't care about work because they saw their grandparents die with nothing. They saw their parents die or end up with nothing. So they believe that it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. It can't get them big diamond rings and the gold fronts and the Lamborghinis and a fan of money. Them kind of jobs, them big 3 jobs and them secretary jobs don't get that. So they don't want that. They don't want that. So this is a whole, when I say that Scorpio generation and beyond are consciously dead, I mean that. They have been, socially engineered by the powers to fail, to be empty vessels, literally. Or their soul is like in the stasis. Their soul is in the stasis. And they won't be a threat. That many of them won't know how to build a house, won't have an idea how to do a signature, nor how to comprehend nothing. Can you imagine what our future is about to look like? For real. And why am I talking about this? Because all this stuff has come up in astrology over the last few years. And now I'm seeing it. I can see it. I just don't have the will, the purpose. What's the purpose? What for what? Why would I sit down, structure it, and then come over on here on YouTube and deliver it professionally to make sure you understand me, to make sure I'm not stumbling over words, don't have the right words, so I can sit here for days on end and organize all this stuff. I have that ability. Find the right words, find the right terminology, everything. Simplify it. But who's gonna hear it? Who's gonna hear it? And I say that, number one, because I'm disappointed in my growth here on YouTube. But I'm also aware that to some degree we all gotta know this. We gotta know this. We got to be aware that our children don't have they done threw me off. YouTube. Great point, purposeful school will change everything. So what is this here? I have no idea. Never saw this before. I'm gonna do this. Search with your voice. I don't know what that is. So am I off? This motherfucker got me. I was about to get started. Think I found a wave. Let me see what's going on here. What is going on here? Oh no. Sound check. Okay. I guess that's cool. Okay. So I'm going to go on because I was about to get started. I've almost found a wave. I'm about to get emotional. I was talking about R. Kelly and the Milk Crate Challenge and the investments there. I talked about Kanye. So what? I done gave you R. Kelly and the Milk Crate Challenge, investment, areas of investment, which is the company. It's a Brazilian-based company, but you can find it on the stock market here in the U.S. on the NASCAR, whatever one is called. And the name of the company is Eletrobar, something like this, Elebar, something like that. And that's the company that's going to, it's already a standard company in Brazil, and it already deals with energy, but they're about to expand. Remember, this is talking about expansion, innovation, technology is about to advance and all this kind of stuff. And so we have them doing the electricity, and they're going to use the Amazonian River for that. They're going to funnel it using this new like PVC pipe, and they're going to ravish the sugarcane fields over there to process and make that piping. Remember, this company is going to branch continents with this advancement. Okay. It was something else about it, but I can't remember. Anywho, I talked about the cryptocurrency partnering with places like Western Union or MoneyGram. I might be saying it wrong, so they probably gonna block the crap out of me, but it's something like that. So there's probably gonna be a drop to get rid of the the weak links and get their money, and they come to the cryptocurrency, and then they're gonna do their partnership, what they already in the middle of doing, and it'll go back up in cryptocurrency. We got Kamala Harris for the having this moment to be the head, so they can see how we react, a head of state, so we can see how we react, because it's a what is called it projection, not projection. It's where you see into the future. Let you see into the future about Kamala Harris taking the highest seat of office. I told you the Muse is activated, and the powers are using it. I do believe that the powers have this meeting, where they coming together and they may possibly crash the market. I said that's the one I don't have any evidence. All I seen was the spirit of Muse present. Kayon Weston I have and housing. Another one I want to talk about to look for, it's a few things. I just can't think of everything. Y'all see my brain be scrambled. Anywho, is Bible. I talked about the Bible and investments, and I did a lot of research into that. And so now I want to talk about commodities, real commodities. I'm talking about the exchange of or investing in the exchange of raw materials, raw commodities, such as or like which ones do you invest in? Which ones are guaranteed to last? To be that won't lose value. And I tried to decode the Bible in front of you, and it lets us know things that are fermented. I can't remember because I did this a while ago, but it's this shit. You gotta remember that we are currently in a time period that's just like the time period when the market was the chessboard was being set during the 1930s and the Great Depression and all that, and the market falling. The reason that market crashed back there in the 1930s was so that they could monopolize the board. That's where the game Monopoly came from. The same thing is happening now. What the big dogs was investing in back there in the 1930s is not the same thing the big dogs are investing in now. Advancements and technology has changed the, what they call it, the little, changed the, investments. Like back during the 1930s, I told you they were investing. All that market crash was about building the Golden Gate Bridge to, connect the land to that little island or whatever, so that they could do some real estate or housing over there. And they also had to do like with different alcohol producers. I'm talking about alcohol, like I think it was Canadian Club Whiskey or something like that. They were a part of it. I think it was them. See, this is where I would get in trouble. I can't recall all of the names and companies and stuff. So I might say Canadian Club Whiskey, and I'll be wrong. It might have been, what's the other one that's name is quite similar? I can't even think of it. It was one of them. Anywho, just offering you, these are just examples. I don't have the names right. I got them over there. But that means I would have to have stacks of notes sitting up here. Hey, George, going through them. And I ain't going to do it. Until if I see we get to that across that road where it requires me to be for real a professional, then I'll pull out my professional hat. Other than that, I'm just kind of giving you some examples. You go research what I'm talking about, and when you're researching and reading, you be like, oh, that's who she was talking about. You was talking about the man that built the Empire State Building. Oh, you talking about this one that was funded and back in the Golden Gate Bridge at this time to do real estate on that whatever land on the other side. All that's why all that market crash at that time period happened. And then you talking about the innovation of Ford himself, who was doing what the cars, Ford, all that was happening. This different. Now we're talking about 5G coming online. In order for 5G to come online, we're talking about God manifest here on earth. We're talking about a one brain. In order for it to I think the word is, what's the word? Encapsulate the whole globe to like a capsule. They have to have technology reach every area on this globe, including like what they call it. Oh gosh, don't get upset, Nancy, because you can't think of it. You think of there are areas like in Africa, all the little countries and things like that, places that don't even have running water, that still depend on what they call them, pumps and different things like that, wells. They have to be brought up with technology, and I think that's where like Bill Gates' compact traveling wave nuclear reactor comes in. That's one of them, because it can help modernize certain what do you call it, isolated regions. It's not the word isolated regions, rural regions in this world, that still have the population still tribes like that. In order to get them on board, technology has to end up expanding over there to lock them into the 5G, the one brain. So I think that's what the Bill Gates thing's about. And I also think the same thing is the case. Remember, these are different investors. I'm not inventors, investors. They have a interest. Like even the whole hydroelectricity over there in Brazil, and it bridging the continents together and all that stuff. And that's to what? Brazil is not parts of it is not concentrated or condensed as far as population. In order to get the 5G to hit the level they want to, that's where we start going over into, transhumanism and stuff. I ain't there yet. Going over into transhumanism, they first got to get the brain up, get everything synced up. And so these projects are the next step in them achieving that God brain here on earth, which will allow transhumanism. I guess that makes sense, maybe. I don't know. But it's real. So what I'm talking about, different areas to invest in. If we ain't gonna fight, if we don't care about humanity, then we might as well invest, right? We might as well invest. It was some other things to invest in. I get on here and forget everything. Let me see. This is insider information. This is insider information. And how do you know I'm telling you the truth? Look at my record. Please look at my record. I gave you some examples here. If you follow me and you pay attention, you know that I've been calling it all out. I've been calling it all out. not a little bit. I'm giving names, time periods, dates, names of companies, all kind of stuff. I'm pointing you to if it's in the law, if you really pay attention in detail. But the problem that I'm having is this stuff is so advanced, it's not for one person. And I talked about that. That's with that whole Henry Ford and Thomas Edison and the Jubilee. There were over 262 guests invited to that banquet. All of them brilliant minds. All of them under the same spirit, the same muse, to work together toward a common goal. And that was to monopolize the board of life. I'm one person. And the information I'm getting, I know I when people see me and listen to me talk and my work, I sound so confused. I am trying to keep thousands of years of information in order. I am trying to keep information, in order that is related to different branches of knowledge. I'm trying to go back in time. I'm trying to deal with now and in the future. I'm also dealing with the physical and the spirit. I'm dealing with a lot. So I actually think I'm doing a pretty good job. That's a whole lot. And to be absolutely correct, down to the penny. I'm not up here foretelling or prophesying or whatever in a matter in which it is vague. It could be anything. When I'm talking about outings, power outings, and why they're happening, and what's going on, and who making it go on, I'm talking about the names, the companies, the places, the time periods. That's not vague. That's direct. That's direct. I'm talking about, even when I talk about, like, I didn't know it was going to be Lil Nas X that came out, but I told y'all in the stars, it said, okay, this is what the power is pushing out on people. They're pushing out charismatic leaders. And I gave 2 examples when I did that video. I might watch that video tonight because I think I gave 2 different examples of who the charismatic leaders can be. Oh, it was not only that. I talked about the fairies. The fairies. I talked about political figures and their agendas shown in astrology and in their birth chart. Naming them directly. Like I talked openly about Obama and Michelle being proxies for the LGBTQ&I community. I was able to identify through astrology how the reason why the LGBTQ&I community, or people that identify with that particular lifestyle, were getting, bad feedback from society. I talked about that because it's all been a planned agenda. It's a plan. It's written down step by step. And what I'm sharing with y'all is not what I think or what I want it to be. All I'm doing, I tell y'all, is I sit down here for hours, days, weeks, or whatever, and I constantly decode the stars, follow the breadcrumbs, and this is a correspondence, what I say, between the powers, or a correspondence between the powers and the extraterrestrial beings or them other beings. That's what I'm telling you it is. And this is the things that they're saying. These are the things that they're writing down. I don't know if they're writing them down. It's in the stars. I don't know how they do it. I don't know if they physically writing. I don't know if they got a secretary that sit up and decode it for them and hand it over to them. I don't know how they do it. But I know from the seat I sit, as a real human being, that I really have to sit down and decode the stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, this is the things that they're saying. These are the plans that they've had. These are the steps, plans, blueprints, all the stuff is that they had. I talk about religion in the video multiple times, but in the video pyramids, I talk about religion, and it's how it plays into their plan. I talk about the deck of playing cards and how the court cards were, when you say, prominent figures throughout the history, or the early history of humanity, of society, of the building of society, in their role in constructing our pyramid system or our social hierarchy, and also, you know, flow of the distribution of the natural resources to sustain people's life until they could fulfill their plan. And a plan looks like ultimately it is for the extinction of humanity. That's what it looks like, and we're helping them. I think I'm telling you what I would like to see, but I know I'm not going to live long enough to see it, because this kind of stuff, that all this stuff I'm seeing is not just hundreds of years. We're talking about, I don't know what it was. What is millenniums? This stuff is by millenniums at least. Got to be. Is millenniums mean thousands and thousands of years? What is that one? Thousands of years or whatever it's called. This is, you know, so we're only thinking now. We've been trained to think now. And what I will say is I get the feeling that human beings are much more advanced than we are in our present state. I think if we were in optimal health, we probably then degraded as far as our DNA has degraded significantly. But I think we can still heal. But again, it's generational. And I think I'm just saying, I think the species, humanity, is far more advanced than, you know, we're aware of. You know, anthropologists find bones and stuff and draw us like we cavemen and stuff. I think all of that's propaganda. Then we got things that are conflicting. We got the cavemen with the broad jaw and the broad jawbone and the little cranium, so just a little brain. And we got on the other side, we got the Egyptians built these pyramids, can't explain, and they was levitating stuff. I think that whole thing about the Egyptian pyramids reflects us more than anything. I think the rest of all of that has been propaganda. I really do. I think we're really highly intelligent species. I really do. And I think we were just infiltrated by another species. And it's been going on for millenniums. I think it's been going on for millenniums. And it has taken that long for them to destroy, you know, continue to work to destroy this particular species called humanity. That's the way it seems. And it still hasn't happened, but it's still stages. Still stages yet to occur. But I think they're very, very close to it. You know, very close to it. At first I thought it was just that it was a species that wanted to take over Earth, you know. But the next step in our evolution, if we keep on our course of action as directed by these powers, is transhumanism. It's trending. Everybody know about it. We know it is. It's transhumanism. And in that, we become totally detached from our origins. Our origins. And the reason why we have no idea where we're from, I think, is that our consciousness has been severed. I don't think it's completely severed from our origins. But if we let them destroy the Amazon to do what they want to do, to be able to get the 5G up, have all these traveling wave nuclear reactors with petroleum or what it was, uranium or whatever, all that missing uranium that came up, we know who got it now. Then we don't want to be here. We do not want to be here. But back to the youth. I want to do a video talking about the youth. The Scorpio and Pluto generation, as well as the Z generation. I don't even know how do we get them to love school when all the people that they seen come before them really not accomplish much. Why? Because they ain't had no purpose. You know? Again, these are kids that saw homelessness. They're talking about the death. Just, they saw poverty, a life of poverty and a life of hell. Who want to go to school after that? For what? For what? It didn't. People that they knew before them went to school and it didn't save them from having those experiences. All that was a plot and a ploy. This is so crazy. How do you get them to love knowledge? You know? How do you get them to love knowledge? And what's crazy, If you encounter any of these, that generation, many of them have natural abilities. I talked about some of the folks I'd have met, young folks I'd have met, and the natural abilities they have, and they just take it for granted. I mean, God-given gifts that if they had somebody to really teach and invest, we wouldn't have to worry about these mortgage companies, because the babies can go out here and build us a house. But we don't let the powers fool us into thinking that land can be owned. Come on now, y'all. How do we break free from this mental imprisonment we in? I mean, it's mental imprisonment. Anytime a person can pay a mortgage for 30 years and still not own the home. Truly, because you're still paying taxes after that. Or the land. And then the house end up falling apart. The roof need to be redone, so you remove. Come on now. Now, why are we going to let that stand? Make that make sense. You buy a car and get all these emissions to go to work on the other side, or even another city. You riding an hour away from home to go to work, to push buttons to make somebody else rich, or to uphold a construct you don't even believe in. How foolish are we? Come on now. We got to know we stupid. We got to. That's crazy. Another one that get me is it was something the other day I saw. I don't even remember what it was. But it was about, I don't know if it was on Facebook or what, but it was about women going to work. I don't even know what it was. Oh, I know. I think it was on Facebook. George, I'm not ignoring you. I just don't have my glasses on. I just wanted to talk and get everything out, and then I'm going to come back and watch it and read my chat. You know, so I'm not ignoring y'all. Just got a lot on my mind, on my heart. But I think it was Facebook. It might have been here. I don't know where it was. But it was talking about how a lot of employers are offering child care so they can get people to come back to work. Now, what sense do that make? That a woman takes her most prized possession and put it in that child in the possession of somebody else they don't know, so they can go to work for somebody else. Why they job can't just be staying home raising their kids? I mean, you're gonna pay somebody, pay the woman and hand the child, I'm sorry for screaming, to take care of her own baby. That doesn't make any sense to me. That does not. You're gonna send your child to somebody you don't know about, and you gonna pay them, or somebody gonna pay that other person on behalf of you, so you can go to work for somebody else. And your kid, you don't know what your kid doing, or what they learning, or what they being exposed to. That don't make no sense now. How foolish are we? How foolish are we? How foolish are we like this case that's going on? I don't even know, something K-House or something. The foolishness. And the red room that occurred. And the person get acquitted. Or what's that other man? Zimmerman. What's wrong with us? I don't care what color you are. Black, white, Chinese. I don't care what. What is wrong with us? So these people getting away with all this stuff tells me one thing about humanity right now, is that we don't have any power. Because it doesn't matter. If you're human, part of being human is you're supposed to be righteous. Because there's a difference between us and that other species. A part of being human is you're supposed to be righteous. So it doesn't matter what color person is. Wrong is wrong. You mean to tell me none of us know what wrong is anymore? We don't know. Hey, not even talking about the people that's accused of doing anything. I'm talking about the judges that's been sitting on these benches for years. These same judges that's sitting up changing laws without no representation of the people on behalf of the corporations. Them judges. That's one person. And they still sitting there. These judges have lifelong careers. And they incarcerating people unjustly. All kind of stuff. Or they're not holding the people that should be accountable. But they still sitting there. And they've been sitting there for years. Now who's letting them sit there? Is it us, humanity? Because why? My point is, what do we need to do? I'm not trying to incite any violence or anything, but what? The question is, look at our mind. I'm bringing, what's wrong with our minds? You go snatch a mother sucker out the seat. What are you there for? Is snatch them out. That's the only answer? That's the only answer. Snatch them out. You ruled wrong. How do we know you ruled wrong? Because there's good and there's bad. There's righteousness, there's unrighteousness. There's right, there's wrong. If you rule wrong, I'm not talking about what somebody want because they bias. I'm talking about what's right is right, is wrong is wrong. And that's to say, hey, if it's not beneficial to the well-being of humanity, it's wrong. Period. You harm somebody else without just cause being that they're trying to hurt you. Then you get snatched off your seat if you don't make the right judgment. These people have stayed in these seats, these prestigious seats, passing judgment on the rest of humanity. Some of them for 50 years. 50 years, people's lives have been thrown away. We got law enforcement, same thing, bias. Some of us, and I remember when astrology was talking about how we had been improperly influenced. That was part of that revelation I received on March 6, 2016. You follow me to hear me say it, March 6, 2016. Just the unrighteousness that that's been allowed to be perpetrated in this world. Never was a stop put to it. And then how we've been, and so I'm talking about like the Caucasian race, how you were literally improperly influenced by this other species. That's how deep it gets. And I talked about it. It depends on your demographic. And I talked about it. I wish I could have kept track. I didn't know all this was going to build to this climax. So it talked about, I remember the astrology talked about, and it went straight and talked about after everything I had done, and did all the work, individual components of it. And then it talked about, say, hey, the social engineering that had basically took place. Remember, let me go back. I'm all over the place, Aquarius rent, but I'm one person. At Henry Ford's banquet, there were over 62 brilliant minds. I'm one person. So here I am. One person. The powers have each other. They've always had each other. They always worked with each other for the purpose of manipulating humanity to be the way they wanted them to be. And they had to do it in order. It had to be order, is what I'm trying to say. So what they decided to do to the Caucasian persuasion was different than what they decided to do to the black or to the Chinese. Pitting us against each other. All of that has been reflected in astrology when I interpret it. And this is revealed in the correspondence that they have with each other. This is what's going to take place at this point in time. It's the stage we in. The astrology is a organized document, a organized correspondence between them, step by step, the whole time. You know, I was like, what the heck? So think about it. I mean, we can all think about it. Everything from the stuff that, you know, all the negative publicity that surrounds the LGBTQIA community and the lifestyle. Why do people really look down on them? One time that came up in astrology, and I talked about it. You know, and it was something about tacking perversion to that lifestyle. I can't remember how it went. It was something like tacking perversion to that lifestyle gave it a negative connotation. An example is, well, I just used that Lil Nas X. Make things look real bad. You know what I'm saying? And that if we look over history, it takes us to look over the history of humanity. How many different ways have the powers, because they're the ones that's manipulating, what have they done? What ways have they done to tack perversion to the LBGTQIA community, you know, as it's grown through the years, you know, to have its title or label. What type of perversions was tacked there? What can we identify? Like, it was just kind of really outrageous, you know, because the people that have that particular lifestyle or sexual interests is not only a few that I've known are flamboyant. Like, and when I say flamboyant, I'm not talking about being fabulous. I'm talking about perverted. And those seem to be people that have been improperly influenced by the manipulation. But I'm saying the broad population in itself, people like me and you, I could be, you know what I'm saying? Some people that love the same sex, but they're not perverted in their activity or nature or behavior or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's all varieties of some dumb ones and some smart ones or whatever the case, just general people. But they tack perversion to that community. Then black people. What ways did the powers taint the black community? Everything from health, intellect, all these kind of things. These were different projects they had. How did racism or supremacy, supremacy, come into being? Based on what I'm seeing, that was one of their projects that was implemented and perpetuated. So it's a lot of different projects and tactics that they use. And they have kept a log of it. And they executed it all in order upon the people. And now here we sit, stupid, and don't know how to get out of our current situation. We don't know how to get out of it. Even though we're at a crossroads in which we are scheduled to go down the wrong path that's going to lead to the extinction of humanity. Maybe that's making sense. You know what I'm saying? Extinction of humanity. Think of all the things that we're going to literally go through before humanity is extinct. That's some deep stuff. But it makes me understand how my brain works. And I'm going to let y'all go because I've just been on talking. And believe me, I'm going to read y'all messages. And George, I was going to email you. I've just been really lazy. Really, really, really lazy lately. Just know I was thinking about you. One more thing I wanted to say. I forgot though. I forgot. So man, I just let it go. But them kids. I want to make a video about the kids. They gotta be trained. They even took all the materials away from us. But we can't go outside to just teach our kids to chop a tree. If you chop a tree, then you're getting a ticket. It's like unbelievable, y'all, for real. What we gonna do, y'all? What we gonna do? This is so serious. I guess we don't care. We gonna die. I'll be probably dead. I know in under 50 years, it might be 30 seconds. I don't know. Under 50 years, I'll be gone. So I guess I don't care what's gonna happen to my granddaughter or her kids or something like that. I don't know. I guess we don't think we're gonna be here tomorrow. Them people, them beings, those powers know they gonna be here tomorrow. We got Paris Hilton and them. I guess they have kids soon. What was that little rich prince that left with Meghan Markle? They got a kid now, so they kid gonna be here. They care. But we can't see ourselves in the future. It's like we cannot see, humanity cannot see ourselves in the future. We think everything that we're going through is natural, and it's not. None of it is natural. We are being improperly influenced by a whole different species that has been successfully manipulating us for thousands and thousands of years, even millenniums, I'm going to say, but I know thousands of years, at least thousands of years based on that. I mean, this is crazy. I guess I keep saying it because it's unbelievable that we sit up every day and we allow these judges to make these unrighteous judgments when it's clear cut. And I'm not saying to hurt anybody, but I'm saying get the mother suckers out the seat now. Like, right now. Who knows where they live? Go get them out the seat right now. You won't be doing that job anymore. You're unrighteous in any way. Oh, you against humanity. This is a humanitarian thing. You're against humanity. You unrighteous. You can't call good shots. You can't keep us from, people from, because we got a lower nature as humans. So we got to know ourselves. That's another thing that the entity talked about, corresponded about. They don't even know themselves. I remember reading, I was like, what that mean? Who was saying we don't know ourselves? I kept saying, what? I told y'all something saying we don't even know ourselves. And that this messes me up. Is that things trend. Subject matters trend. It was a time that know thyself was trending. Know thyself. I'm telling you, this is how intricately involved this other species is with humanity. They're right there in our face. Tell me, know thyself. Get to know thyself. That's them. And then it go trending everywhere. They was literally saying in their correspondence with each other, they don't know themselves. This, because they don't know themselves, this is how we can manipulate them on this level. This aspect of them, we can manipulate them. Like the last aspect of human nature that I saw them manipulating us with or through was the id. That was the last thing. I didn't come back and talk about it. I mentioned it, but I didn't come back. So right now, they're currently, I guess I haven't looked, currently still using our id to manipulate us. That sensitive spot. Like, I'm going to give you an example. Back to supremacy, W supremacy, and things like that. We are not aware. We won't allow ourselves to be aware that this was a whole plan, and it's been being implemented for thousands of years. Now it's like the normal to us. It's the norm. So, and biasness is norm. It's the norm. Social bias is norm. That, what was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say. I talk so much. So much to talk about. And it's like, why do we stay in the same thing? I forgot what I was going to say. Oop, I didn't make it. I forgot. The kids need to learn. I'm trying to remember what I was going to say. I'm going to let it go. If don't any other major messages come up in the stars, I want to come talk about or ramble about education. Okay? Education, because soon my generation is going to die out. Top 120 years, they say, a person can live. So soon and very soon, everybody here going to die out. And anybody alive at this moment, in 120 years, neither one of us will be here. In 120 years, that's nothing. That's a grain of sand. That's a tick on the clock. 120 years. So everything that we know now can be lost. Everything we think about now can be lost. It's going to be replaced by new ideologies and different things like that. Totally lost. How do we make sure, how do we save vital information for those that come into existence 120 years from now, so that the powers can't change it? They've done it before in history. I know I just go on and on and on. This is how my mind is trying to process everything that, I've been exposed to, that's been revealed to me. They've done it before. They talked about whitewashing the Egyptian walls, all kind of things, rewriting history, writing history in from the perspective of the victor. All those things have changed. So right now, the place where humanity is right now, everything is just distorted, and it's just unstable. It's scrambled. It's scrambled. So when the puzzle pieces land to our reality, it could be anything. anything, and it can be furthest from what has really been our reality. Totally, totally. And there's gonna be no one to argue it. That it wasn't. It wasn't. But even before we get there, it's really about this generation now, y'all. And that's why I guess it would be beneficial for me to sit down and really be quiet and really take some real notes and try to come up out professional and talk about this generation, this dead generation that they. I know I'm all over the place, y'all. I'm jumping from one topic to the other, but they are socially engineered to be dead, a whole dead generation. Now, I've seen it before, and I talked about it a little bit here and there, but that seems to be the next area to spotlight because it's them. It's like they're the reason why I'm saying they're the dead generation is because even while they alive and in a physical vessel, they can't do nothing. They don't know nothing. They're not aware of anything. Their minds are scrambled. Their minds are scrambled from the avalanche of information that we're receiving. There is no discernment. There's nobody to help them discern what is right or wrong. History has been changed or rewritten. Nobody's really recording anything now. Everybody's giving their opinion, including me. What is the truth? They don't know. And then it's added with the stress of the whole, social media stuff about being liked and, the whole social dynamic thing. They're stressed over that. Relationships are shot to shit, whether it's a romantic relationship, a friend relationship, a parent relationship. Then it's the drugs, and a lot of them are on drugs. And if you ever had taken a drug, and if you really be honest with yourself, your mental state is altered, and it can be altered severely. It can be damaged and not heal anymore. And so we're talking about a whole generation that's under this type of influence. The whole thing. And you think about it, just the stress itself of thinking that you have to live up to the demand of being, fabulous all the time, flawless all the time. You can't even be yourself. This is a generation. They don't have no concern truly about, where they gonna live. They don't have no concern like about life insurance. Why would we be concerned about life insurance now? Because we sure enough don't take care of each other when somebody passes away. I know people that have perished and there was no one there to take care of their children. So the next best thing is to have some life insurance. Then maybe somebody that takes a pity. This younger generation is not thinking nothing about it. They're not thinking nothing about this extraterrestrial other species I'm talking about plotting against humanity to destroy it. They ain't thinking nothing about that. They're not thinking about it. They have no idea that certain things are real. Like it's the unthinkable, the unfathomable, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, is that there are agendas in this world that are executed and destroy people's life intentionally. And when I say that, like Tuskegee, the Tuskegee Airmen and the the syphilis thing. That's just an example. I just give y'all examples of things, in history that most of us know about. But I can go research and pull up probably a book full of any examples about, different things that have taken place to destroy a demographic of people, or race of people, or whatever the case is. And it's all intentional. So my point is saying that this generation, this consciously dead generation, don't know. They're going to be put like they're going to be getting picked off and not even know that they're getting picked off. Like now, they're getting literally picked off. I don't want to say certain words. They everything from the drinking, the drugs, killing each other, and you know, racially motivated, red rums. All of this, they being picked off and don't even know it. They don't even know that they have been manipulated and are being manipulated. That's crazy. And then the generation before them, stupid and can't see it. What do you think is going to happen to humanity? I'm just sitting up constantly talking about, what do you think is going to happen to humanity? Really? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen with the babies? Make it make sense that nobody can figure this out. That nobody can see it. And this is one question. I'm in with this because I'm just rambling and ranting because I'm very upset. I'm very disappointed in this life and this experience. I really am. This is insane. I ain't nobody that stupid. I hope not. But, hell, I forgot I was going to say it again. Because I'm just, it's just too much. It's insane. It's insane. I was going to say something about, because I just been wondering, what was it? Unbelievable. Freaking believable. Can't believe it. I forgot. It's just so much I want to say I forget because so much going through my mind. I don't know what's most important. I'm only one person. I know hearing for, you know, hosted a party with over 262 guests. Each person represented a perspective, an area, an industry, innovation. I'm one person looking at it all and trying to look at it through an unbiased filter. Because I have heard other people's material or other people talking and they bias. I'm like, how can you have the information you got and you bias? And you also trying to steal the information. Like, trying to, when I say steal the information, trying to own the information. I want to be acknowledged for what I share. They literally trying to steal the information to make it theirs, to make them better, to make them more powerful, to make them seem some more superior or supreme or intelligent. Like, what the fuck? I made it. I forgot what I was going to say. Just too much. But it was about them kids. Because, Lord, Okay. Yeah, I'm so disgusted. I'm just so disgusted. I can't believe this is where I landed. I can't. People have been taught to be liars and don't mind being lied to. The truth hurts, they say. You know, some of us say the truth will set us free. Will it be? Well, if people don't want to be free, I just sent you a Gmail, Nancy. It's called Dimensions X. Okay, George. I met these aliens. It's not what you think. They don't want people to hurt each other. This is purely human beings doing dumb crap. They are just watching and helping some ways. Yeah, and that's another thing. That's the whole thing. It's like I talked about the Galactic Court. And I don't think that it's just one species. I think it's a lot of involvement, but it's some like primary entities or species involved have an interest in Earth. But then it's other species too. And these, like for instance, when I tell you I get messages, I, like you, George, believe that there are more benevolent entities or another species out here that's not letting itself be known. But I do believe it's trying to help humanity. Many of the messages I have received, I think, come from this benevolent set of beings. But I think they don't have the power or the legal right to boldly interfere with our business. But then there's another species, the one I'm talking about, that is not right, not maybe the reptilian type, I don't know, but they do have a direct interest in humanity. And this, it ain't just humanity, it's this realm itself. And I don't know how they got, a legal holding. It's like a legal holding, legal holding or something in the interest of humanity. I don't know how this particular species that's gotten all this power and has been granted now dominion over this ram and us by extension. That's what I want to know, and that's what bothers me, is that because I'm conscious of these things, why can't something come in and just show me? It takes so long. Sometimes it takes months, weeks, so even years to find another piece to the puzzle. I'm 51 years old, and I started finding puzzle pieces in like my early 20s. I've been hearing the voices and having the communications my whole life, but I started finding the first puzzle pieces like my early 20s, and it took all this time to accumulate all of these puzzle pieces, where now I can actually go pull the physical evidence to see it. All this time, I'm only promised right now. Well, I only had the potential, not promised. I had the potential to live 120 years if I'm optimal, within reason. I'm far from that. So my point is, I can die out before I get any more information. I'm pissed about that. That makes me mad. And I even was researching, once again, I think I talked about it before, the oldest person that exists. And I think the oldest person that exists is somewhere in Japan or something. And I think it was a she, was in October, was 118 years old. And by 118, half time, I don't think you can see, barely can hear. You just kind of relaxed by that time. So you might not even have an interest in studying and, the patience or whatever, the endurance to do so. So that goes to show something's really wrong with the lifespan, humans can live. Something wrong with that. And it's going to get shorter, even though technology is increasing. That's crazy. Oh, man, that is so insane. And then the whole thing. Transhumanism, that's where our consciousness and our awareness is captured within some a hard drive or whatever. It's not a flesh body anymore. It's a what do you call it? Technology, some type of chip or something. What if at that point in time, that's the next time humanity's true intellectual potential is realized, when it's captured in such a device? It's captured then. No limitations anymore. No limitations. And in the Bible, it talks about, and I don't remember where it was in the Bible, it talks about that we will seek death and death will flee us. How does death flee you? You beg for death and it ain't there. Well, if your body can't fall apart anymore, that's a way that death will flee you. And you just conscious and you just aware. That's craziness. And we can't see it coming. That's a whole nother video, a whole nother subject matter. I ain't gonna go there. So the fact world is insane. The whole world is insane. And I actually think this other species I've been talking about, I think they insane. I think based on the criteria, I think they're insane. I really do. I think they are horrible, insane. I'm talking about for real. They not like us at all. Remember, Nancy, if something I think sound weird, the powers that be are messing with you. Say the powers that be are messing with it are naturally probably animals. My mom once told me, said we create, remember the doggone. I ain't got nothing to drink, my throat hurt. I talk so much. How long I've been on here? There's nothing wrong with us. They are using us as a scapegoat. Oh yeah, I'm not on you, man. Consistent angel. I'm reading a little bit of the chat, y'all. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go back and read some. I just kind of wanted to. Hi, Deb. How are you? He's not in hospital now. I wonder now. What a joker. All this stuff is a mess. I just can't. But anyway, I'm gonna go on and think on some other things. Try to get some stuff in order. Try to come up with a message to spark this consciously dead generation awake. Maybe one day. Maybe I can come up with a statement, a string of words that will spin off into existence and wake them up. Why help another species destroy your species? That's what they're doing and don't even know it. They own babies. Oh my God, the things that I see are terrible. Absolutely terrible. The babies. I'm talking about the real little babies. Nobody to protect them. This stuff is deep. Anywho, I'm about to go off and find some coffee or something. That's what I'll do. It ain't nothing but 12:30 on a Friday night. I'm ready to party. I don't know. I might come back and read some tarot. I don't make no promises, but I'm about to go make me some coffee now, y'all. Thank you for dropping by here to Can Angels Fly, Tarot and more. Tell me about my life in order to go back over some of the predictions I made, to hear about some of the projections I project, still yet to unfold, and to complain about our current situation, and to hear me plead for us to figure out something because it's real. And my whole point is we might not live to see the final outcome, but our babies are. Oh my God, our babies are. That's the thing. We got to look at it. People talk about how we're our grandmama or our mother or whatever. Our great grandbabies is going to catch it, though. They going to catch it. They're going to be prisoners. Their consciousness is going to be imprisoned. Their consciousness. Could you imagine your consciousness being imprisoned and dominated by a malicious entity for eternity? That's deep stuff.